And if there was one thing that I would tell young people today, it's that they matter. It's that they matter. It's that they're alive for a reason. And that reason is bigger than them, it's bigger than their problems, it's bigger than their bloodline, but it's actually to carry the gospel. It's actually to carry the gospel. And so I would tell young people that, I guess a little bit about myself. I used to be so hurt by the church. I was so deceived about God. I thought God was cruel and angry. I used to be so turned off by people in the church because I would see hypocrisy and gossip, and I would see all of these things, and I thought that's what represented God. But now I get to live my life to represent God. And the truth is that God is actually love and truth and peace and kind and gentle. And He's awesome. And so if there's one message that I really had to the youth, it would be to not waste their life living it for themselves. But it would be to use their life to advance the kingdom of heaven, because the kingdom of heaven is eternal. That's the only thing that's eternal. And I know I wasted years of my life being angry at God and running away and digging myself in a hole this way. And now that I know what I know, my only thing is, man, if I could have started sooner, that would have been awesome. But I'm grateful that God got me as young as I did. So I want to share the gospel with you guys real quick.
I'll be able to. What's going on? My name is Maurice Kennedy. Everybody calls me Mo for short, and I am a junior at the illustrious Morehouse College, founded in 1867. These are my Morehouse brothers right here. Love them to death. I would say the most important thing that I have to realize is that your relationship with God is very synonymous to relationships with like other people. They grow over time. It's not something that just happens overnight when you say, oh, I'm gonna give my life to the Lord, and then you're just perfect all of a sudden. There's a lot of unlearning and learning that happens. There's a lot of getting to know the voice of God, and that comes with intentionality and spending time in His presence and like getting in His Word and knowing what His Word says. And then also it's about progression and not perfection. And I think sometimes we're hard on ourselves whenever we fall short. Romans 8:1 tells us that we all fall short of the glory of God. Like, we're human, we're gonna make mistakes, and if we were perfect, we wouldn't need Jesus. And so part of the walk is realizing that if God's grace is enough for us, then we have to have grace for ourselves when we do fall short. And instead of feeling condemned, we feel convicted. And conviction makes us run towards the Father, not away from Him. And so it's about progression, not perfection. Progression. How can my relationship with God be deeper today than it was yesterday? And how can I go after Him today in a different way than I did yesterday?
How you guys doing? My name is Kamal Grant. I'm a junior at Morehouse College. Concerning Christianity with younger black people in the South, it's definitely grown. I can speak from personal experience in the AUC that there's a desire for Jesus. There's a desire for a relationship with God, but a lot of people are afraid of like what their community would look like if they were to pursue God. What does that mean? Giving up friends? Does that mean giving up circles that you normally circulated in? But more and more Black Christians are finding community. They're finding people that they can not only grow in Christ with, but finding people that they can do life with. And that's really been encouraging and supporting with moving forward and understanding that you don't have to do this walk with Christ alone, number one, because God is there for you. But number two, God is going to provide people around you that have the same mind and have the same heart to chase Him that you do. So it's been really beautiful to see, especially here in the AUC, with the Bible studies that we've been able to have, with encouraging more people to get involved in church, with talking to more people about giving their lives to Christ and really submitting and understanding what that means and how beautiful that is. And it's just been a really beautiful thing. So yeah, my experience is kind of similar. Being afraid, like, am I going to lose friends? Am I going to be lonely? Am I not going to have anyone? But God's really blessed me with family. He's really blessed me with community. And that's made so much of a difference in my personal walk with Christ.
Do you have since you've been here, like a moment that's really stood out to you, or like that's really touched you, just seeing what God's doing? Like it could be I don't know, anywhere, whether I don't know, you went on a trip or like just even in the AUC, and community, like just of what He's doing.
I would really say with the Bible studies and how quickly it grew when God put His hand on it. It's really showing that there's a desire for God in the AUC. There's a desire for Christians to deepen their relationship. And we didn't expect it to grow the way that it did. But people really want to know God more deeply. They really desire to know Him more. People really want Jesus. And when we, were led by God to do something in His will, it was amazing how quickly the seed took root and how quickly it bloomed and it spread. And it was just like that let me know that, like, okay, there's something here. That let me know, it was like, oh, I'm not alone in this. There's people that want this. That let me know that, like, we're not only making community, we're making friends and family in Christ, with our brothers and sisters in Christ. So that was really encouraging to me. I would say get involved. There's often like a hesitancy that says like, oh, I'm not Christian enough to be in these spaces, or I'm not at a certain place in my walk yet. But that's what community is for. Community is to help us all grow together. And the most Christian that you could ever be, because our Christianity, our faith is not defined by our works. It's defined by accepting the sacrifice that Jesus made for us. So the most Christian you could ever be is simply giving your yes to God. Yes, I want to know you more deeply. Yes, I will obey. Yes, I want to grow my relationship with you. Yes, I want to deepen my knowledge and understanding of you. So there's often like a hesitancy that says like, oh, I'm not Christian enough to like be in these spaces, or like, oh, they're gonna judge me. But like, community is not meant to judge you. Community is meant to pray for you. Community is meant to speak life over you. Community is meant to encourage you. Community is meant to share testimony that makes you realize that like these people are going through the same thing that I'm going through. So I would definitely say to young Christians, like, if you don't know where to start, get involved, because other people can help you learn as well. Where they didn't know, always know how to start. So get involved. My name is Kamal Grant. I'm a junior at Morehouse College. 21 years old. I'm blessed to see this day. And yeah.
Where are you from?
I'm from Gwinnett County, Georgia. You know what it is. Not Atlanta. I'm from Gwinnett, Big G unit. Oh, no, I'm playing. But yeah.
Hey guys, my name is Anna. I am a full-time missionary with Black Voices Movement. And so the gospel is that, did you know that you were actually created for relationship? And you have a purpose. You were created to have intimacy with God. You were created to have joy and peace and to be in relationship with God. But then something separated us from God. And that something is sin. Sin stole us away from God and it created this barrier. And God couldn't come as close to us because God and sin can't coexist. Because God is love, but he's also holy and just. And so we're over here without the Lord and God is over here without us. And so there's this tension and God isn't okay with being apart from you. So he sends his son Jesus to come on earth as a human, 100% God, 100% man. Jesus is living on earth, right? Never sins, lives a perfect life, and then is crucified, is literally goes on trial, is convicted as guilty even though he's innocent because he was a perfect man. The only perfect man to ever exist is convicted as guilty and is literally murdered. And Jesus let this happen to himself, right? Because he's God, but he's man, but he's also God. So he could have stopped it, but he let this happen because there is a real cost to sin, right? Who knows that cause and effect is a real thing? Every action has a reaction. And so the effect of sin is death. And so Jesus paid that price. He literally paid that price. He literally died and paid the price of sin. But then he didn't stay dead. He resurrected on the third day and actually overcame the power that sin had on us, so that when we believe in this work that he did, when we believe that he died and he overcame it, when we believe it in our hearts, when we acknowledge it with our words, with our mouths, then God can save us, and that means he can come close to us, how it was meant to be. He can come and heal us, he can come and restore us, and he can come and live with us like this, not just when our bodies will pass away, right? Yeah. Our bodies will pass away, but also our souls. Our souls are saved. And that means not just when I die and I go to heaven, I'm going to be kicking it with Jesus, but actually right now on earth, I have access to heaven. I have access to love. I have access to joy. I have access to healing. When I tell you, I used to be depressed. I used to be addicted. I was so broken. I was so broken and depressed and angry at things that happened at home, real injustices, things that happened with friends, things I had been through. But God literally healed me. And he restored my joy, and he restored my purity. He restored my relationship with my parents, with my siblings. God has literally changed my life. And it was all through Jesus, and he can change your life too. And so maybe you're hearing this and you already know this, but if you don't know this, I want to give you an invitation right now to give your life to Jesus. The Bible literally says if you believe in your heart and confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord, you will be saved. So if you want to give your life to Jesus, just literally right now say, Jesus, I acknowledge that you did this for me. Thank you for dying for me. I make you Lord of my life. I want to live with you on earth. Have your way in me. And if you've heard this and you're like, yo, I already know this, then it's time for you to share this with someone. Because there's someone out there right now dying and struggling who doesn't know that Jesus died to heal them, who doesn't know what Jesus gave them access to. And you hold the keys to them. You can reach someone that I can't. So don't waste your life on things that will never satisfy you, that things that won't matter in light of eternity. Use your life to advance the kingdom of heaven.
even do stuff like ups and opposites, you know?
Hey everyone, my name is Shannon Jackson, and I'm gonna just give you a little bit of my backstory. So boom, I got accepted into Clark. I was like, okay, I really wasn't fond of Atlanta, wasn't trying to come here for real, because it's a lot. The city life, I'm from Tifton, Georgia, a small town. I really didn't want to come here for real, but you know, I just took a step out on faith and I came. And you know, I liked it, but it was still a little bit cluttered for me, a little bit too much, like being in the city life. So I was just like, yeah, nah. So it was a little awkward transition stage for me coming from a small town, Tifton, Georgia, to a big city like Atlanta. But I adjusted over the, course of weeks. And it was hard for me to find community because Clark is a party school. So I was like, who really here is a Christian for real besides me and my sister that I could like relate to or have community with, or like just have casual talks about God, what he's doing in my life. So boom, we was going to the library one day, and I see like this big group of people in the library with Bibles and stuff. Like me, I know when somebody have Bible study, I know what it look like. So I'm walking on the promenade, looking inside the library like this, and I'm like, nah, because now it's walking with me. I'm like, nah, they ain't having Bible study. And she was like, no, they not. They Bible study for an exam, because from the naked eye, it looked like that. But I know what a Bible study look like. So I was like, no, they ain't having Bible study. So we walked in the library, boom, I go up close, I see they have their Bibles, they doing Bible study. And that's how I met Mo and Brooke. They was holding their Bible study in the library before it got into the Clark Carl Mary Ware. It was in the library then. So I joined their library, I joined their Bible study that day because I was in search of a community. And then fast forward a few weeks on, God laid it on my heart to actually establish a Bible study at Clark because there was no representation at Clark. Yeah, Mo had his in the library for Morehouse and Spelman and anybody else that would have joined, but it was no staple thing at Clark. So I was like, ooh, like God laid it on my heart. I'm gonna let him use me because ultimately his idea, he just need a vessel so it can be, organized and demonstrated. So he did that through me, and it's just been going good and growing. And he's also helped me build my faith because I didn't used to be so outgoing and want to talk to the camera all the time or just, so outspoken and bold in my faith. It took a long time for me to get like this because I used to struggle with pornography from the age of 7 to 14. And also I used to deal with dabble in witchcraft, like doing tarot cards and all that, etc. So it was a deep, dark place for me because I was searching for something outside of myself. I was trying to fill a void that only God could fill because I was talking to a boy, so you know how that goes. I was trying to find love or allow his love to fill my void, which you can't do because we are in union. So I stopped doing that and I found God.
So
Yeah. Okay. So the question was, when did I meet Black Voices? I met them. Technically, I heard about them in January of last year. Brave Love came to my school. Went to the second day evangelism training. And someone goes, "Yo, Black Voices." I'm like, "What's that?" I'm like, "What are circle riders?" "Missions." "How old are y'all?" Literally, my reaction. So then, found them on Instagram, saw the Atlanta rally, saw that they were going on tour, literally stalked them, felt God, was weeping in my room because I was like, who are these young Black leaders? They're so cool. I wish I could meet them. And then I saw that they had their 10-day discipleship training school, so then I was like, all right, I'm gonna apply. Applied, got accepted, went to Orange County, 10-day school, listened to the King is Calling message, felt so gripped, felt like, okay, this is what the Lord is inviting me and calling me into. Then heard God say, you run with these people. So then applied for the 6-month school, did the DTS, the Discipleship Training School. And now I've been officially a circuit. I've been running with Black Voices officially for about 8 months now. And now we're at the Black Voices festivals, Candle festivals. And it's amazing. The Lord is moving. Friday is going to go up. Glory Fest. Loki scared. Loki nervous. Because the King of Glory is going to walk in the room. And he's going to blow the roof off. But it's been an honor. So excited to hopefully step into the season of being a staff and fully running with Black Voices and Cirque Riders. Gabrielle, Monty, come on.
My name is Trayvon Henderson. I'm a freshman, sociology major, journalism and leadership double minor from Cleveland, Ohio. I would first like to give thanks to God for allowing me to be in the Lord's heart. And shout out to Lauren too for the sound camera work she does, all the camera, giving rooms. I would definitely say that God is sufficient. That's one of the first and biggest things. Coming into college, there was a lot of uncertainty for me as I didn't know where I would be going to college. But once I did get down here and I was able to attend Morehouse specifically, it changed my life. Not because of the institution, but because of the people and the plan that God had already aligned within our path. When I got down here, I knew that I didn't want to lose, like, or in my own mind, I didn't want to lose being in touch with God. And I met Carlton Bates. And when I met Carlton Bates, after that, I met Brooke Rome. Then I met Kennedy Rome. Then after that, I saw Carlton Bates again. I saw Brooke Rome again. Then I met Jonzel Smith and Victoria Smith. Then I met all of these people who were so significant. And God is just doing a great work. Like, I don't know what to be said. There are so many people here who God is using, like, not so many people there, everyone here, God is using to bring out their innate gifts. And he's just doing beautiful works. Definitely say, I would also like to shout out my pastor, Pastor Dwayne Bates. I would like to shout out all of Welcome On. I would like to shout out Evangelist Bates. But I had the church that we attend, it's named Welcome On Missionary Baptist Church. And I had become a member in October. And I thought that I was doing everything right in the Lord. I had so much pride within my own journey. I just thought that it was like, oh, this is it. I'm at the pinnacle. I've reached everything I've needed to, and like God is just going to use me from here to stay good. I thought I was good because I wasn't doing a lot of the other things that I saw my counterparts doing, and I took pride in that. Like in college, definitely there are a lot of people engaging in activities, and I was like, I'm not part of those activities, and God is using me. So like, well, I'm good. And I didn't know that you could talk to God. I didn't know that God has spiritual giftings for us. I didn't know that there are spiritual giftings of prophecy, evangelizing, speaking in tongues, receiving visions from God. All of these things, and really, on we my brother Carlton Bates, he had preached a sermon at a church that we went to with a program that he's a part of called Black Voices and Circuit Riders. And that was on March 10th. It was the weekend before our spring break. And we went to that. It was on a Friday or a Saturday. I think it was on a Friday that he preached. And one of the key things that I remember him saying repeatedly, it was like him speaking was so poetic, and the way that God used his heart. And something that stuck with me that he said was, this is the heart of an evangelist, just as a writer has repetition or wants a certain thing to be displayed, the way a videographer wants like repetition of this setting. So it's like it could be a stillness, whether it's rough, the same way that a painter makes specific etches in their painting, and the way that they use their brush. It was like I don't know, that's how it was to me. But he always said, "This is the heart of an evangelist. This is the heart of an evangelist." And that stuck out to me. So fast forward, he said, if there's anyone that wants to surrender their life to God right now, release all things that they've been holding on. And it was like I've been to many churches and services where there was an altar call, but it was like something broke that night that I had been holding on to. March 10th, 2023. And my mother passed away when I was younger, at 8 years old. And I had been holding on to those feelings of never having a mother figure, not being loved in a way that a mother could love. And I released that night all by the grace of God. And I asked God to be my mother, not on my own accord, but there were many people there who helped me. And I heard my mother's voice, and I hadn't heard her voice in so many years. So it was like, that was magnificent. Yeah. And that's when I fully surrendered my life to God. And I said, this is what I want to do. I don't want to do anything if it isn't of God. And for all of that time that I thought that I had been caught up in my own pride and I thought I was perfect, I wasn't. And I'm so thankful to God for bringing that to me, for my community of friends. The search is not necessary because God is already provided. Perfection is a promise, but greatness can be guaranteed. The only perfection promised is from God and His will, not our own. Yeah. I would say that that's definitely the moment that stuck with me, and that will always stick with me. I would also say, just my, this is the first time in my life. It's been so many times, but I was thinking about this yesterday. I had shared this yesterday with one of my brothers that this is the first time that I feel that I'm doing things right. I'm not scared about things going wrong. I'm not scared about what will come. But like God is just enabling me with the trust in Him and His goodness, and it's not for myself. It's pure. I'm just like, I'm not overwhelmed. I'm not underwhelmed. I'm just so thankful for who God is and His never failing love and His never failing hand. So many people can say that they know of it, but until they're actually broken down on their own accord, you'll always think you know of it until you actually experience. It's like the more you mess around, the more you find out. But the more you dabble around with God, not dabble, but the more you like seek God, the more you find out. Brotherhood is so strong, and it's not even just with men. It's like a family hood. Lauren, right here, who's behind the camera. So many of my other sisters in there. So many of my other brothers in there. How did Whitney used to do it? Brooke, Kennedy, Donnie, Attorney, Dez, Miles, Jazelle, Victoria, Mo, Joshua, Will, Camille, Darlene, Kamal, Amir, Goldie, McKelly, so many more. Please, I'm not trying to exclude any names. I shouldn't even listed any names. But yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah,
Eternity, Shania.
Shania can't leave Shania out. I'm trying to think. Cheyenne, all of them, all the extension, all the AC club, everyone. Shout out my family back home. Shout out my dad, my little sister, my stepmother, my stepbrothers, all my siblings. And shout out Du Bois home. Praise God. Yeah, brotherhood is real. We locked in for life. Hey man, that's my thing. Now none of y'all better not take that. This locked in. That's my thing. Yep. Praise God.
Lord on me. I think trueness what happened in that Dunkin' Donuts. I'm more of a conversationalist. Like I'm gonna preach the gospel, but you gonna get a full blown conversation out of me. It's not gonna be like yeah, I'm gonna see like that. But I literally told my testimony in the Dunkin' Donuts of the depression and anxiety and how I don't look like I'm supposed to be here, but I'm here because it's so real.
Yes.
So I said that. And the thing is, what I was thinking, how chaotic the Dunkin' Donuts felt to the peace it started to feel like.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't recognize that until like just a couple of minutes ago where I was like, yo, even though you don't have to intercede, once you tell a testimony, the atmosphere
That's
changes,
facts.
regardless of what you think you're still in or going through. And I shared that with this one guy because I'm a full-blown personality. Like you can't like take this out of me, but I'm such a warrior of God. And I looked at him straight in his eyes and he just didn't feel like he was able to be him. And I was like, look him straight in his eyes just like this. And I was like, I am a laser wherever I go. Black, white, blue, green, church, inside and out. With business degrees for days. And I'm still the same person. And I didn't say I rebuke him, I almost laid hands on this man, but I might have said it, but I didn't. And he literally just felt, he said, he felt the love of God for the first time.
Wow.
Like,
Thank you,
I also had to battle myself because I'm like, I'm always Elijah, but Elijah is a lot for a lot of people. And the Lord just had to deal with me because he was like, so am I a liar?
Wow.
I felt like the room just changes now. Like, y'all saw the lights dim or no?
I'm crying.
Screaming. Girl.
Emphasize it.
But yeah, he was like, they need you because the radicalness of who you are will literally, we have been having handheld church for so long that people don't even know what trueness of God looks like no more. And do we want to continue to sit and to fit in with everybody else?
Yeah.
Or do we want to be like the Jesus who we claim we want to be like? The one who he ain't never. First off, that man never shut up. And he always went to someone that didn't look like they were supposed to be spoken to by him.
Wow.
And that's just like, I had, when we was in the car, I was like, wow. Like, I felt like the Jesus moment of the woman at the well because I truly feel that those two souls today will literally bring, she was 15 and the other one was 17. And what broke off of them was the confidence to spread the word of the gospel of the good news. And that power, I can't believe I didn't even say that the first time. But because of who I am. Because he is who he is.
Yeah.
He is the I am. He literally, I just see them like, guess who I just fell in love with? Guess who I just saw for the first time in this Dunkin' Donuts? Like, I cry, I wish I was, and I had to get rid of them. I am 31 years old. You think I want to be doing this right now? That's how true it is. That's real God. I don't look like what I've been through. You want to know why? Black don't crack, but I can't not tell a joke too in the spirit of like heavy and vulnerability. But vulnerability is freedom. Oh. Yeah, I didn't see that coming. Yeah. Freedom literally takes away years of aging off of you.
Ooh.
Not healing. I didn't say healing. I said freedom.
Yes.